Well, this work is actually work that was supposed to be completed last year. We had a delay in a sidewalk project due to some curbing. So there's a whole neighborhood in the Arnold Road area that has been desperately waiting to be paved for several years. The gas company went in about 3 years ago. 2 years ago, we went in to do the water main. COVID struck. That delayed that project for several months. And then we got a grant to put sidewalks in the neighborhood near the AMVET and Roosevelt School. So now finally we've completed those projects and we're at the point where we can do paving, and we're paving in that entire area as well as Metcalf Road, which is a pretty tough road as far as condition wise in that area. And then due to a water main project on the other side of town, we added in May Street to replace the road surface over there, which I'm sure a lot of the people in the Attleboro area will be happy about.
So people who do not live in that area can certainly work their way around it. What about the people who live on those streets? From start to finish, once the trucks pull up, how long can they expect?
So there's two parts to this job. First, we'll be milling the roadways, and that's actually starting. I just found out today that it's starting a couple of days early, so we'll be starting that on Thursday. And that you'll be able to come and go from your house, pretty easily. We work on one side of the road and then the other. And the way the neighborhood is over there, it's pretty networked, so you can always take an alternate route. So that's the first portion of the work. That'll probably take about a week, week and a half to do over in that area. And then we'll come back through and do the paving. And that's the part when we actually pave in front of your house. It'll probably be an hour, hour and a half before you'd actually be able to get out. We notify the residents on each street beforehand, that we're going to be starting, ask them to move their vehicles if they need to, just so we can keep moving with the work and not bother anyone any more than necessary.
I know I follow social media, the North Attleboro pages. You probably wouldn't want to, but I'm sure you've heard about the people complaining about certain streets. At the same time, there's only so many streets you can do in 1 year.
Yeah, actually, May Street was one of those roads that we've bumped up. It was supposed to be on this year's list because we were doing a water main project last year, and we moved some things around with the contractor and added that road to the list. And that's about $220,000 add onto the project. So residents need to know, especially in today's day and age. I was paying $70 a ton a year and a half ago. Now we're paying $101 a ton. So the prices.
Cost of oil?
That is because most of the cost of bitumen in the mix, it's gone up quite a bit, and it's been fluctuating. So we actually, when we put out a bid, we actually have an escalation clause in there, so contractors can bid confidently. They know if the price of oil goes up, they'll get the benefit of that. But similarly, if the price of oil goes down, the town will get the benefit of that. So working with that, it has limited the amount of work that we can do this year. We just opened a bid for upcoming projects. It was $101 a ton, again up from 70 to 75, and we'll be doing Huntsbridge Road, Cushman Road, Cumberland Avenue, and Norborough. So our plan for the rest of this year is to do a lot of work on that side of town, the west side of town, to clean up some areas that have long been in need of improvement, but we've long been in need of funding to do so.
And this may sound like a stupid question, but I've heard of, I believe it's cold patching during the winter. The companies that actually produce the tar, so to speak, they can only work up until a certain time of the year temperature wise. Take me through that, because I have no idea.
So in the wintertime, probably around December 1st, most of the plants shut down. Some of them stay open periodically when there's good enough weather to get asphalt. So as much as we can, we have a 2-ton hot box, and when we can, we'll try to patch with hot mix. That only comes from a couple of plants, and that costs about $120 to $130 a ton because they're only open and doing small batch work. But for the most time during the winter, we have to use cold patch if we can't get hot mix, and the cold patch is really quite a Band-Aid. I know people say you've come out here 3-4 times to do that. The cold patch goes in the ground to fill the hole, and the next time it rains or snows and you get the freeze-thaw action on the road, the cold patch comes right back out. So we try as hard as we can to use hot mix during the winter, but again, it's only available when the weather is pretty good for a few days that we can get out and utilize it.
And final question, I know there are restrictions once a road is paved. If the gas company or some other company wants to come out and do some work, isn't there an amount of time they have to wait before they can actually dig up the road?
There is. The town has a 5-year moratorium where you're not allowed to dig in the road. If you have to dig in as an emergency, there's extra steps you'd have to take. You'd have to mill beyond the trench that you make the entire width of the roadway. Unfortunately, sometimes things do happen. We had Chestnut Street bridge that we did and redid the roadway, and it turned out about a month after that project was finished, one of the property owners had a problem with their sewer, which had to go in and get repaired. Things like that, it can't be helped. The gas company, we do make them aware of all of our projects and give them our 5-year moratorium list, and it really looks like their 6-year construction list. They always seem to be going out a year past our moratoriums. And Arnold Road is one of those neighborhoods where we told them well in advance we'd be doing it, and they did switch gears so they'd get in first and get their work done in that neighborhood. But unfortunately, it puts a lot of strain on the residents in that area who've now been dealing with construction for 3 years. The upside is, barring any headaches, we won't be back in there for 20 years. We've done all the work that needs to be done: water, sewer, drain, and gas. So hopefully they'll all be happy. And one of my board members lives in that area, so we're hoping he'll be happy. It only took me 14 years to get his road fixed.